And welcome everyone to yet another iteration of the Clarion Corp Trials. Today we're in the second selection of the first season and we're going to get two more teams qualify themselves for the final selection. And joining me here today for the first part of it will be Kish. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to see how these games will unfold because I'm a fan of low-ranked tournaments.
You're a fan of chaos. You're a fan of EU salads and all of the bunch.
I mean, I started getting in the community because of a cup tournament.
True, right? Knowledge Cup, right?
Yep, I got into the community because of Knowledge Cup. So I do like my fair share of cup tournaments.
Yeah, most definitely. And obviously Clarion Corp Trials is capped and it's here to have everyone kind of develop their talents and show what they're up to, even if they highlight the teams that don't really get to shine as much on the Bub stage as well. Also sign up for Bub this Sunday. We have some more stuff to do. But our game one here, both teams 0-0, both teams looking decently good. Obviously 2 Shrimple we've seen last week already had a pretty good showing, barely missed out on that spot of making it through, but they're here to run it back. They're here to show what they got. Going up against Skibbity Sigma, a new team, didn't play last week, but are looking promising as well. Again, as per format that we do have, we have our Swiss stage B maps chosen. Game one's going to be on Atlas's lab. So for basically every single European in the entire world, we're just at home, really. We're where we belong.
Mm-hmm. From the comps here that we can see, we have, at least we cannot see the last one from, I think it's Skibbity Sigma side, but this look like a more core control side of things. Because, of course, we saw Julie and Kazan, I think, getting banned, so we're getting a bit less damage. But as I say that, the X unfolds. So what I said is just invalid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be interested to see what the awakenings are. We did have some damage with Spark of Agility and Prize Fighter. Everyone opting for the Spark of Agility, with Spotty Len being the only person to go Prize Fighter. Makes sense. If you're on X, though, you do want the damage, you do want the KO potential. But yeah, very fast-paced game then, potentially, with the control coming out. I feel like Obino might be having a bit of a tough time defending on the Saimi, though. Because you're going up against Piercing Shots and Ashers, right? Like, there's gonna be plenty of force coming your way.
They need to do, oh, and as we told, the TP from Estelle just sneaks it past Ryun. What they need probably to do is try to... The thing is, they cannot do long passes, because with that Estelle in the middle, they just have to try and squeeze it through the zoning that both Asher can provide, and Estelle is just a menace in controlling the core, of course.
Yeah, and especially in a map like Atlab, where you're going to be playing across the middle quite a bit as well, it just holds a lot of value having that range to interrupt abilities. And also, not to underestimate, she has pretty good damage output, right? She doesn't need a lot to start being lethal to get that value and get those KOs, but really quick, by the way. Not so easy here with a great banish, just completely disallowing Wolfstart from any defensive work there. Really well executed.
Yep. And to support what you said, Asher was just dumping all their ability on not so easy there, and they were just gone, and Estelle was just providing even more damage. I think Estelle has one of the highest base damage. I don't remember if it was Estelle of Juno, actually.
I think Juno has the highest. I don't think Estelle is further away, though. And base damage is like, I think it's a definition thing, because Juno is like the highest base damage on a single hit with a primary. But in theory, Vice has it, simply because she just spreads more damage. She does less damage on a single target with her primary, but obviously the lightning that she will use afterwards will do a lot of damage as well. As strikers are just being very clean here, by the way. Like, they're finding their angles, and they're getting like decently clean goals.
Well, I'm noticing that I feel like is it Blue Shrimple might have a harder time when their barriers are taken, because of course both Dubu and Asher are not that quick, even though it's countered by like Spark of Agility. So in defense, they might play a bit more less consistently because of how big the goal is, of course.
Well, yeah,
It might be an obvious thing to say, but I feel like TBD Sigmas can play better with an open goal than to Shrimple.
Yeah, I mean, that comes down to the character pick, right? Dubu doesn't have any range. Amy can do a lot better with that. But in turn, Dubu's going to be a lot better at holding down a single barrier as it is right now compared to what Amy will do.
Yep.
I am expecting to Shrimple to take the point here, though, because they had so many, like, such a huge energy advantage. The third flip now coming out as the barrier is down and they're trying to get the attack going. But they can't quite get it through Gobino holding down.
And almost a KO on Legos here, and there it comes. I expect to see more bloodshed this game from Skibidi Sigmas at the moment, just because the presence of an X just outputs so much damage. I think here, yeah, there was a good pillar as well, and X was just covering the bottom side. I think that was just checkmate.
Yeah, a good pillar indeed. That most definitely, as the energy economy is in favor of the side of Skibidi Sigmas as well, but the barriers are down. Yep. We'll see how that's going to pan out.
Yep, 1 meter for each side is gone, and Spotty, I think, is going to get the spot in the KO zone soon. That was not a picture. And there it is, the Estelle sniper just gets it through, and will they manage to capitalize off of it? The banish was a good play, but Gobino, I think, did not see it and just tried to force it through Asher, which is not a good play, usually because just Asher is such a presence.
Yeah, most definitely. But for now, they can't get the attack going just yet, actually. Gobino's just clearing cross really well, and Lego Piece and Sloan are just not able to kind of get there in time. They continuously try to set themselves up, but they just can't quite get that final push in. Now, Spottyland needs to be a bit careful with HP bar. Flip comes out, Gobino catches it still, though. So, Core still in play, and they're just not finding the angle at all.
I feel like the angle is going to become much quicker to find, especially in overtime now. Spottyland is in support. The burst here just may be able to knock them. I think Sloan will probably burst it now soon and kill them. Never mind, they use it to save against a wall. Gobino taking it last second. They're just trying to get X off, but I think that's kind of distracting them for scoring.
Yeah, they're using quite a bit on it, and they can find the result from it. Now Sloan needs to be careful to not be taken out himself here, actually, as the Rune is going to walk up and try to get the barrier. Wolfsart, though, doing a good job holding on for now as the attack is turning back, and yeah, Gobino's doing a good job utilizing this Amy to interrupt early, which is where the pick is really good at. The Rune, obviously, incredibly annoying, actually, as great pillars will get it past Wolfsart, and Spottyland finds the gap in between both of the strikers in net so they can find the first set, and that could be pretty big here. Because we have a Spark Awakening. Sparks are very strong on the stacking department, but not a single Spark here, actually. So the Rune will just have to do with rapid fire, likely. Aerials, a deny pick, I guess? I'm not sure I see the same vision here, but could hold some value.
I assume so. I don't really know what's good on the Rune usually, but aerials, I don't think... Does it affect any of their...
I mean, his ultimate is longer range.
Okay, yeah, right.
So it's that, but largely Rune just kind of wants cooldown and some creation awakenings. Timeless now specifically, I don't think is crazy good on midfield Rune, more so a goalie Rune pickup. But could also just potentially be a deny off of Sloan to not give that Estelle that extra jump range. But I think Sloan very happy to pick up the prize fighter in turn, not prize fighter, the rapid fire in turn for it.
Fire, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like each player got a good draft, because both the hard forwards got size, which is good, of course, and Gobino just has the timeless, which is just better ult a bit. There he was just kind of caged a bit. The wall there did not even manage to give him a chance to probably clear up.
Yeah.
He goes in.
The side of Skibidi Sigma are positioning decently well, so when Wolfsart tries to get to clear out, he just can't quite get the angle right, because there's usually either a Rune, an X, or a pillar there. So it's pretty suffocating for him to play out. The side of Tushrimple might want to start looking at maybe another way at attacking and or defending. Because right now, they did do fine in the first set, but they're down in this one. And to be honest, they're kind of just killing them at this point, so maybe it's all chill.
Yeah, they're really low. Maybe a burst there from Dubu could have killed them. Honestly, I feel like if the stacks from the prize fighter, yeah, there we go, ramp up, this might be a big problem. The damage output might be too much on this at this point. And with the recovery drone just saving one stack of that. Oh, the area set up right here. They're just
Nice.
Ooh.
Really good piercing shot will actually get the KO there. And yeah, the recovery drone obviously can save the KO, so it can preserve the prize fighter a bit more. I think the higher value of that still is just the size though, right? Because X just kind of struggles getting close often, and just having a huge hitbox with your strikes like that is going to do so much for you in any kind of like offensive and or defensive department. But Wolfsword is holding it down, showing us the Dubu, and Lego Piece finds the angle as well to even out the set. And we're looking at a pretty even game overall right now, actually.
Yeah, I actually have no clue who's gonna win this one. I guess we're gonna have a bit of a clearer view, I think, next draft. Because let's remember, we already still have like 5 sparks on this game, right? 5. I mean, 5 people picked sparks.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
I didn't remember them putting leadership back in rotation.
Yeah, leadership is back, guys. They didn't tell you that, but it's actually back. Nice waiting there, actually, baiting the Rion wall there. Bodyland is almost gone for, and there it is. The energy is wasted of that Corp flip, but I still have a good amount of it. Even after this burst, I think not so easy might get a huge advantage of that energy.
Yeah, we'll see. The strikers are being found though. Like, if he's actually doing a good job at his Asher, being close range, being annoying to deal with. Does need to find the goal now as well, though, as Spotland is looking to get some of these price artifacts back, but the evades are coming up from Lego Piece. Sloan doing a good job on the control side. Gobino not messing up, and the strikes on the defense either, though. As a flip will have to come out. Wolfsword unfortunately takes the orb away from Lego Piece. Almost twice. Oh no, it flies past. How unfortunate.
Aww. Happens to everyone. Honestly, I feel like Lego Piece should have died there. He was the ping pong ball in that situation, but it worked out in the end. So who am I to decide the fate of little anime guys in soccer?
There's a lot of damage on that X almost immediately. Even the Duba wanted to get involved there, using the somersault, but not hitting anything with it, sadly, as both berries do go down here.
He got punished basically immediately by that. With losing a barrier and forcing burst. Nice strike reset with the ult.
Another 2-2 set. Looking to be a really tough game 1 for both of these team here actually. As they're trying to go 1-0. Again, keep in mind the way that's the Clarion Corp trials work is you play through the 3 rounds of Swiss. If you win 2 of those rounds, you make it into the bracket stage. So every single win matters, because if you lose your first game, there's no room of error left anymore, right? You're going to have to win both of your next 2 games to move on into that bracket stage. So, and both of these teams, definitely playing for it. You can see it there. They're playing it out as hard as they can, trying to get the attacks going. And again, 2.5 sets. Honestly, already really happy with that personally, because that means we're gonna have some good games today as well. Oh, damage.
Yeah, we're seeing a good fight here, actually. As I said before, I don't really have any idea of how this could possibly go, but now with X out of the table and the barrier gone, this might be in favor of Skibidi Signals, unless this burst lands.
Oh no, that's unfortunate.
It lands in the right direction, in the bad direction, I think.
Gobino tried to go for a bit too fancy of an angle there and ends up hitting it completely wrong. Eject button also not up for them, so couldn't jump back in time to hold that defense, as they do find a set win. And more importantly, for the side of 2 Shrimple, there are 2 Sparks in here, which I'm going to be curious to see if they're going to be picking up one of them. Missile Prop will go towards the Estelle, so both Sparks now available for the side of Skibidi Sigmas, and they're not going to pass it up, immediately take them, and that's going to be a scary situation. Because now Skibidi Sigma have 2 players with 2 Sparks, which means if there's a third one on the way, you're gonna have to deny it off of 2 people. And depending on how the draft falls, you might not even be able to do that. More size stacking for Spotty Lang is really good as well, obviously. And the Monk Titans pickup for Dubu, I'm starting to feel Wolfsword is just trying to space glide here. Look at his speed! Oh my god!
Oh wait, there might be a big bet in play actually. Look at him go. The hamster shrinked, but he's so fast actually. Is that just plain among Titans? Does it give that much?
It gives you a lot of speed, right? But obviously the trade-off that you have for it is insane as well. That size is going to make you, unless you're very experienced or just really, really good at Strike Wars, you're going to find yourself in a lot of losing Strike Wars due to that size difference, right? So it's a very fair trade-off. Usually not a great goalie awakening, because goalies don't really want to lose that size. They don't want to be that volatile in 1v1s. But it can find its value, and who also can find value is Lego Piece there with a great punish on the Amy Cyber Swipe. Will find the KO.
I feel like it's still kind of worth it because you just give Asher size, which is what she wants. But I feel like Not So Easy and Gobino are gonna position way better now, especially with the speed, because they were doing good beforehand, but now with the spark speed, I feel like it's gonna be harder for Two Shrimple to core control this one.
It's gonna be more difficult. They still have avenues to do so, and again, their upside is they have a defensive goalie in this Dubu, which means he can hold it down even if it needs to be in a 1v2 situation, depending on how it's being set up. So they don't need to be giga speedy all over the place. And even then, the Stell on her own with that secondary will have opportunities to go up and go back at a moment's notice if necessary. As, oh no, that's unfortunate. That wasn't a Monk Titans did. I'm pretty certain if normal sized Dubu was rolling there, that would have hit the core almost immediately. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it seems so as well. It was just really unfortunate. I was actually sure that was gonna hit, but apparently small Dubu cannot handle that one. Yeah. And the first barrier falls now. We see, I don't feel like the energy is pretty fair right now. We might get it to force it out like this. Lego Piece is really on life support. I think Spot is gonna flip to try and kill them. But it's not working, and it backfires with the spin, trying to kill. They don't see the core going back into their goal.
Unfortunate bell ringer there to put it in. I mean, it'll happen. It happened to everyone, honestly. It even happens. I'm pretty certain that's probably happened in any of the Strikers leagues as well before already. It just happens way too quick, but happened this time around. Not great for the side of Skibidi Sigmas. Another KO gets found as well, taking off that recovery drone off of Spotty Lang. And X is in no safe waters yet either. No evades on that character right now. And a lot of low HP. You can see Lego Piece just kind of hovering on top of him, just trying to be that presence and be that nuisance to deal with. The ultimate comes out, though. We'll find the barrier. A huge banish takes out both the forwards from Two Shrimple, and a nice hit from Not So Easy will secure the point. We're at another 0.5.
Yeah, this is insane. This is happening way too often. I feel like the main problem there was that they were all stacking on top of each other, and just one stun was able to just take out the barrier there. And they just escalated from there. I think Spottyland is already on life support here. And I'm not sure how it may go, because they're just trying to dump damage on him all over.
They're using a lot of it. The Asher will actually shut down that clear as well. The Flip has to come out here. It does not get used in time to save the barrier, though, as Lego Piece now close to Flip himself. Tries to run up. Flip comes out from the Dubu. Huge KO, though, coming out from the side of Two Shrimple, and now it's just a matter of bringing it home. Flip comes out, goes past Gubino. Set advantage now in favor of Two Shrimple. Extremely well executed. Huge KO value there, as they're going to go into this draft with the Asher on the first pick. The last spark is going to drop here, which almost I feel like has to be a deny pick. You don't want to give triple sparks to Rune, especially if Rune has the cooldown and the speak spark available. Rune's still going to be able to pick up some good awakenings here, though. Opts for the Siege Machine, gives build different to Stell. Surprised Fighter Flight is falling as low as it is right now, and stacks on stacks. Wait, this could be a very fast Dubu.
It would also be pretty funny. It's not a Fighter Flight.
I mean, Fighter Flight is still pretty good. If he's gonna get core involved, he's gonna get a lot of a lot of speed to him.
Okay, I feel like that Spark of Strength can just do a lot. Also, not by the knife. It's just it is second spark and this strength, and they're going for KO a lot this game, as we saw the double kill there, which is, and they're just overall they're both teams are kind of just dumping damage on whoever comes first, mostly the hard forward. So I feel like that Spark of Strength had so much value in there.
Yeah, and also, again, because of an agility start, that means Asher's gonna have some movement speed to work with as well, on top of the extra damage that you get, so good pickup, as now not so easy is looking to be taken out. Flip comes out, but great defense, triple man defense there, and you're not gonna get past an Asher or a Dubu really quick, because both of these are great defensive goalies, even if one of them's being played forward right now, as Rune is fighting for his life, and is being taken out in the end now. Flip available to Sloan as he's getting harassed by Spotty there. Goes back for the orb. Course still being held up front though. Barrier's not down yet. Flip comes out, finds the angle past the Among Titans Dubu as the second barrier will drop nevertheless. Sloan with the flip gets it through. Gobino saves it though, and the piercing shot will seal the deal. Great setup.
They managed to juggle it in the right direction there. Those walls almost didn't make Gobino save that one, that burst. What I'm seeing actually a lot from the two Shrimples side, when someone is low, they're trying to goalie rotate, which is a good strategy, but each time it happens, that's a nice save.
How did Barrier not drop there? I was like, the most fortunate Sad Boys angle into the most clutch, the Dubu ultimate to still keep the core away. In the end, it wasn't enough, but yeah.
Yeah. Just, it's noble from there, honestly. What I was saying is that when they goalless wish, Wolfstart does not manage to position correctly for an attack again when Sloan goes forward again. And most of their barriers are actually being lost to that when someone is being KO'd.
Yeah,
at least from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, they can set up the man advantage and play off of it well. Now Spotty actually is looking for a KO as well. Has a flip here. Doesn't use it yet, though. Will try to use it here, but the Dubu ultimate shuts that off completely. Almost immediately, as the Rune Pillars, though, will come out in time. Take that barrier. KO found for Lego Piece. That spark of strength coming in there, giving that extra little bit of power. To confirm the KO, power play now in favor of the side 2 Shrimple. They get one barrier. Lego Piece has a flip up front. Will probably just get it in here, yeah. Strike, probably a primary is following suit, and now suddenly 2 Shrimple is one goal away from putting themselves in a 1-0 situation in this Swiss stage.
For some reason, I'm expecting now Skibidi Sigmas to score, and it's just a gut feeling. Every single round got to 2-2. This might be another one.
Surely it won't happen 4 times in a row, because I think Lego Piece has something to say about it. Actually takes a barrier there almost immediately. As the attack is going to come through, though, is the barrier going to fall? No, great. Secondary from Dubu will hold on to the barrier for now as the other side drops. Gobino not able to defend that.
Yeah, actually just too much pressure, and they just waited there patiently for the core to eventually get to them. Banish there went wild, forcing Sloan to TP back and energy burst. Gobino clearing it with the burst there. The wall is a bit unfortunate. They would have been able to save it. Nice pass there down across. And it's just looking like a back and forth situation. None of the teams can manage to get a good attack on the other, but I feel like with no energy burst here, it might be a bit easier to try and shove it in.
It could be a bit easier, it could be a bit more difficult. The big thing here for the side of 2 Shrimple is that there's a lot of flips being put out from the side of Skibidi Sigma, so even though they find the goal here, their energy is pretty low. And that's going to be something that you're really wanting if you go into a 0.5 again for the 4th time. You want that energy advantage that Wolfstart now has within like 2 strikes or so. We'll have the flip, but it will lose both of his barriers almost immediately. That is not a great start for the side of 2 Shrimple. Flip out on Dubu now. We'll maybe have to use it here. No, great interrupt from Sloan. Will keep on to the core for now, as Strike will also find its way past the defense of Gobino. 1 barrier down. Flip coming out from Lego Piece. Flip has to come out from Wolfstart here as well, as now everyone flipless. It's going to come down to a pure strikers game here.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, as I said, I still think like right now Stevie Sigma has the advantage just because of the open net, which is of course a given, but I feel like they Stevie Sigma can maybe handle it better. Nice stun there with the roll.
I don't know if that was intentional to be a stun or could have been a hit on core, but either way, it works out. As attacks is mounting from the bottom, and Lego Piece showing us why Asher's so good, almost forcing it single-handedly through both Spotty and Len, but a beautiful rune self-pass there will secure the core for not so easy, and we're going to a set 5 here.
Is this gonna be a 5-5-5-5-5-5-5?
It's feeling like it at this point. This is as long as a game could have taken, minus just like having long points. And looking at these awakenings here, I think X has some really nice pickups if he wants to continue going for damage. One to punch is one of those. Extra special could be a huge pickup for Gobino if the turrets are going to be positioned properly. Monumentalist being the knight of the rune opting to go cast the last either way, giving so much more value to those banishes as well, keeping the players banished for so much longer. Primetime, a solid pickup for the Dubu as well. No Orb Replicator though. Unfortunate. They don't know.
I feel like there, maybe a better choice for Estelle would have been Primetime just because of that rapid fire value. And we saw from earlier that Not So Easy did not prioritize size with Monumentalist not being taken by him. So I feel like still everyone got mostly what they wanted except that Monumentalist Estelle. But I don't think, except maybe for that extra special, I don't think these awakenings will make much of a difference. I feel like this is still gonna be close.
It's gonna be close either way, especially because both of these teams have just kind of been taking and giving so much from each other. Like, there's some sets that, yeah, maybe you could say one team was having a bit of a better showing, but overall, every point still went, every set still went to 0.5, right? Which is an indicator that it's a very back and forth game here. As Wolfsart has a beautiful defense. Flip comes out, almost finds the angle past Gabino there. The strikes will find the second barrier. And now Shrimple looking to sign this point off, but a banish will just completely put Sloan out of the game for a little bit as the attack is going back to the side of Skibbity Sigmas.
We see a lot of like energy on the for Shrimple. I feel like one might be because now nice strike ward from Lon. They're holding it on. They kill Bodyland, and Lego Piece manages to find a goal. That was kinda good from Shrimple to just ricochet off the barrier lost like that.
Yeah, they held on to the barrier much longer than I would have expected them to as well. They found the strikes and the ability timing pretty well there. And yeah, you did lose the barrier, but in the end you got a fortunate bounce off of it, which obviously you're not going to be upset about. Rune, though, is going to look for a double barrier here and will find it. Great angle. And now Wolves are back on an open net. KO, though, coming out in favor of Shrimple. Can they make something out of this power play?
Lego Piece still has some kind of Juliet mentality and sees a player too close to the sun and takes the shot, and it's in. Almost a kill for Spotlight. Nice evade from Lego Piece as the second barrier goes down. This feels kind of even. The Black Hole, they're actually mispositioned both of Skibbity Sigma's players, but they're still. The attack is not clear on any side right now, honestly.
Yeah, of course, bouncing around in front of the net from Skibbity Sigma, so they're gonna have to find a way out, because this is very nerve-wracking to play out, right? Because if you're constantly under pressure like this, a single mistake can just be the difference maker, and something like that will just get you punished, right? The core goes to the side and doesn't bounce the way you're intending it to. Sloan's gonna be there with the Estelle, is gonna be picking up that goal, and again, Shrimple is one goal away from taking this game, but I mean, we've been here before. We'll see if they can close it out this time.
I would really be happy to see a 5-5-5-5. Great turret, barely making its spot is really nice support. Needs that orb, like everything here. I feel like they should still try to. Nice dash from Gobina. I was saying they maybe should have used the burst to kill, but it was not needed. As you're seeing actually a good offense here from Skibbity Sigmas.
Yeah, Spottyland still holding on to that flip there. Flip coming out from Sloan, not getting the KO with a good rune switchback as well. As the second barrier now drops, the attack is gonna be mounting. Gobino has a bit of area to work with here. defensively as well, as the flip needs to be used, but Sloan again on this Estelle, just ever present. Spottyland trying to get the angle here, gets a KO, and a huge banish from Not So Easy is gonna take out both the remaining members of Two Shrimple, and they're gonna get their first goal, and they need to play off of this momentum now if they do want to take this game home.
I feel like this is even on also the energy side. The barrier was unfortunate, but I feel like it doesn't matter much. Both teams just played with one barrier there. Unfortunate dash just overshots it, shoots it, and gives a huge advantage to Shrimple right now.
Big advantage, but one barrier does drop Lego piece though, with the Asher doing a lot of work. And yeah, that ultimate, that primary, it ended up being a bit too much for Gobino to hold on. So Skibidi Sigma had a really good showing, but in the end they just couldn't get past Two Shrimple. And Two Shrimple with that will take their first victory in the Swiss stage. And even though Skibidi Sigma did end up losing this game, they're looking very strong to make the run back, to get the next 2 wins in the Swiss stage and try to find a victory. As we can see the damage numbers here, by the way, 40,000 damage for 3 members in total here. Even though only Spotty Lin ended up going for that prize fighter, the damage that the Asher and this cell just put out by continuously harassing the enemy, just it was so much. There's 12 KOs in the end on their side. And not to mention the core oppression as well. Gobino with 110 saves here, incredibly active on the defense. Yeah, and I think with that, we're going to go into a short little break, actually, as we're going to try to set up the round 2. Do apologize for no music. I forgot to enable that in my settings. Whoopsie. As we're going to go into a break, I'm going to get the music on, and we're going to get ready for round 2, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, as we will be right back. And we are back. Welcome, welcome. We've done everything. It's set up. We've sped around it. It's definitely not Start.gg that's doing everything for us. We have our round 2 matchup, and it's gonna be Potemkin Busters versus Kia. Potemkin Busters, a team that has played before in the last selection as well. They've also played in Season 0, and Kia is a completely new team, so an unknown factor. We'll see what they're gonna be cooking up. You expecting anything special here, Kish?
To be honest, I'm completely blind. I've only heard some of these names. I don't know what roles they play, what they play in general, what they do, how they perform. So I'm going into this game knowing nothing about these people.
Hey,
And
I feel like that's a good thing to do because we're an Oni village. we could be in for a long one today, or at least for this one.
Then I'm happy that the 4 times goal 5 were on the other thing. Let's hope we don't see that again. Not anything against the teams. I don't want a 40 minutes Oni village game. That's it. I don't like this map. It's
fine, surely. Just like get a nice drink, you know, get yourself set up, get the cozy little
popcorn.
Listen, we're both goalies. Just look in Atlas, get cozy in your barrier, and you'll do fine, right? Like, what can you?
That is the game plan.
What else can you do, really? But yeah, we are now loading into the Oni Village game. We'll see pretty soon where the striker priorities are going to be for both of these teams here. Again, sadly, we do not see the starting awakenings, as that is just a feature on the spectator side of things. But we can have a fun little mini game. Kish, do you wanna try guessing based on the picks that we're seeing here what the awakenings are?
The awakenings, I feel like stacks on stacks and Spark of Resilience. Those are my guesses.
That would be such a sleeper Oni game. It's just speed. I mean, it might be. We'll see. The Atlas comes out from newish here. No real surprise to anyone, really. Atlas and Oni Village being a pretty staple pick, as the Stellar Erasmus hovers are there. So I'm gonna be curious to see if they're going to try to pull through with that, or if they were going to even get it, because the Stellar Erasmus is such a strong combination on a map like this, and they are going to get it, as Kaya Amy are going to go down for the side of Kia here. Still, a really good combination. The Finny hover, wait, are we looking like a Deadeye start here?
Oh, this is intense. Ooh, they're edging us. maybe don't say that, actually.
they're toying around, and they'll see. The Finny is going to be locked in here, so gonna be curious to see how well they're going to be able to execute it here, because Finny is not like an incredibly strong midfielder, can have their moments, but obviously it's not a jack of all trades, and it's a monumental stagger swagger. Ooh.
Okay, so I was right. I'm thinking that it wasn't particularly damage heavy, at least.
I mean, Atlas Money goes kinda crazy, Loki.
Does he? I didn't know that, actually. I don't play Atlas. I want to enjoy the game.
That's real. No, I mean, it does do a bit of damage. Obviously, you'd never pick it with the intention of going Atlas with damage, right? But we'll see how it's gonna play out. They have an interesting positioning here to set up Potemkin Busters as they're playing. Also, I forgot to switch team, my bad. As they're playing a very defensive line on that Finny there, and kind of just letting Ghost do the work up front. The Kai Barrage is coming out, trying to get the barrier, but yeah, the KOs have been found. Even though we are on a Stagger Swagger start here, a KO has been found. So I feel like that could kind of set the mood, and that Finny ultimate's going to be massive as well.
I mean, what I saw that from that KO, it just came out of the Atlas secondary. He just halved Kazan's health, and they just went off from there. They just managed to find the kill, and then the second barrier. But again, I feel like the only advantage that is here right now is the was about to say the energy from Potemkin Busters, but the Kazan just manages to find the angle upward, which isn't covered.
Yeah, a good hook and then single strike from Kiritos there is gonna get it past Newish, and that's kind of the difficulty again, right? If you're on an open net with Atlas, especially on a map like Oni Village, you're not gonna have a lot of like abilities to really help yourself with there. You have your primary that has some range to it, you have your strike shot if you ended up going it. Obviously, with Monumentalist, your secondary is going to cover quite a bit of the goal as well, but it's just so much more efficient and easier for you as the Atlas to hold on to the second barrier for as long as possible. So the moment that barrier drops and the Atlas is on an open net, he actually loses efficiency on the defensive side, which is why it's arguably more difficult to take the second barrier off of the Atlas and get the score. KO's being traded almost immediately here, actually, though.
I mean, Profit right now clean wasted the burst, and Ghost does not capitalize on it as Kiritos just jumps on it and steals the core from Ghost here. That primary almost got it through, and I feel like that ult would have maybe put it in, but Plane was ready, but not ready to stay down and keep the clear there, as I think I was trying to cover top there.
Yeah, the turret came out a bit late and then wasn't able to move down. Ghost doing a good job at finding it, but an even better job by Klein there to actually find that KO off the kickoff. It's something that people often forget when you play against an Amy, especially when the Amy has a little bit of damage. Obviously, the Monumentalist Stagger Swagger isn't the damage aspect of it, but she can find KOs off of kickoff. If you position yourself wrongly enough to the edge, she is going to be a threat. And even, I say wrongly, even sometimes it's not even wrong to position where you are, but it still puts a mark on your back. As they're going to try to get Kiritos out here, actually cannot find the KO in time. Stagger Swagger just completely healing up the Kazan again. And a flip on the Kazan as well will try to kind of fish for it, not find the angle for it, as the defense still holding up from Newish. Solid defense.
Yeah, I think they had a really good advantage. They still have the other team that still have a barrier up. Maybe we will see that Burst come out to finish the job. Almost good Giga, and a bit of a distraction there takes the second barrier down as the core slips past Kane. This is now, I feel like, even, except for that energy burst that, as I say, that just flips it in.
Yeah, I mean, that flip is so close to the net, you needed to almost immediately have that Atlas secondary in front of it. And it wasn't there fast enough, so Aishizuku was able to get that goal in the end there. And now they're one away from taking the first set here, but a lot of damage on the Kazan. Flip on the Finny as well, a little bit early there to Procket trying to find the KO. And this is the downside of trying to play any kind of KO on a Stagger Swagger start, because you saw a lot of damage on the Kazan almost immediately, but they just couldn't find the finisher on it, which meant the Stagger Swagger just completely got all of the HP back onto Kazan, and all of your abilities have gone to waste. On the other hand, you saw the Finny, who's one of the members that have picked up the Monumentalist, got low and stayed low, so the side of Kia were able to get the KOs even after a while there and play off that power play. As a lot of back and forth is happening yet again, though. Nothing really falling.
Oh, Flip does come out there to try and save it from Kiritos, which is actually been doing a good job with that. Also, the double barrier in the start of the round. The second barrier falls down. The stack is not in cooldown in time. It slips past, with Ghost now having energy burst, but also I and Kiritos close to having it as well.
Yeah, Ghost has it, which is a huge advantage, right? You can find a first barrier like this, set yourself up to maybe get a second one right after. Couldn't get the core into control, though. But obviously, this side of Kia is going to find the first barrier. They're going to look to our second one here as well with two flips. Surely they can set themselves up properly. They do find it, and Shizuku didn't even have to use the flip there. That's a great strike from Klein, will actually completely deny the side of Potemkin Busters to get that second barrier as well. Now, and the energy disadvantage and barrier disadvantage, not where you want to find yourself, as the barrier doesn't drop in the end. Klein holds onto it for now. Shizuku needs to use the flip defensively here. A great strike shot will disengage that situation before it even gets too dangerous, as the strikes are continuously being tossed at Newish, but Newish is holding it down.
Yeah, they I feel like Dons is also doing a great job defending there, trying to stay a bit more forward and saving strikes from Newish there. And ooh, hits the angle and therefore does not enter, giving Atlas enough time to get that. The core goes out of the finial, not managing to strike it. It goes trying to find a position to strike it in clean, ready to just niche past them. I feel like they're not finding the great offense here. They're trying to get the core forward, but Kazan again hooks it and shoots it past Newish here.
Yeah, towards the end, it was just a lot of like get the core away from our side, maybe a little bit panicky there as well. But in the end, the side of Kia were able to find that goal. And looking at this Awakening draft, if anyone's trying to play KO, I mean, here you go. Spark of Strength, Missile Prop, Specialized, Heavy Impact, Singer, Prize Fighter. Might is still arguably a KO Awakening. Atlas picking up the only non-damaging Awakening here with the Recovery Drone. Missile Prop gonna be quite a damage threat, an edge threat for that Kai, obviously being able to do so much towards the end there, as Heavy Impact and Spec Training will find themselves onto Amy. Amy, Spec Training Monumentalist, that turret is going to hurt. You have to be careful here to not get taken out cleanly.
We have an AFK right now. Let's see how they
Yeah.
handle it. Will they... Okay, there we go. They got back to it. As you were saying, I feel like right now damage is gonna be a lot more profitable. That Specialized, the Heavy Impact, that Missile Prop, while the side of the blue
It's
side
fine.
here.
It's fine. Take a second if you need it.
A bit of a more core control, and they say that the damages. Managed to take Fini out.
The large difference really about like either team going for damage is the fact that the side of Potemkin Busters ended up going double Monumentalist, which means there are 2 targets where you can play for damage for, right? Yeah, there's not enough Stagger Swaggers going around this defensive end of the Potemkin Busters, so they can just get damaged over and over again and taken out. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the side of Kia, they have 2 Stagger Swaggers. They only have Monumentalist on Amy, and arguably Amy's not going to be the person that you're looking to damage anyways. So both Kai and Kazan could just kind of stay out, even with damage on top of them, and just kind of recover over and over again, which makes it so much more difficult to find those KOs, simply because it's difficult to carry through Stagger Swagger, especially on a map like Oni Village. So I feel like that difference is going to come into play more and more as the game's going to progress.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see that actually in the last goal, the size on Atlas would have gotten him killed if he stood there. And as I speak, the game is doing so quickly as another goal is found, and I feel like Kia has a good advantage here, especially with that energy. They have a burst ready and want to come soon. And Clarion honestly is holding quite well, especially beforehand. We saw that they had the side of Potemkin Busters had a good offense, but they managed to defend that. So honestly, I feel like the defense and offense is just a bit better on the side of Kia here. And as I say that, they're about to lose the second match, but I don't actually. Okay. I did not curse it.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. It can still happen.
Not yet.
But right now, Kia is looking pretty just convincing in the set. Also just because of an energy advantage, right? Both Aishizuku and Kiritos have a flip available here. Nur Simple will find a good angle here. Take really great buffer on that strike will actually hold on to that point as well. As a barrier is found by Ghost. Ghost potentially just want to send this home with a flip as Aishizuku uses his, and the flip from Ghost will secure the point. But a lot of flips being used that round. And again, an important goal to find for the side of Potemkin Busters. If they want to even it out in sets, they got to start. And the first 2 goals of the set didn't necessarily go in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, maybe this will now slide in the right direction, especially because they managed to get that energy off of Kia, which was the big threat in the last round, but they just managed to find good moments to make them waste it, and they profited of that and also taking a goal. So I feel like this one might go for the Potemkin Buster side, especially with that second barrier taken now.
You can see
they have one barrier now.
You can see a change in their playstyle as well. They're using their abilities less to KO. They're using it more to now control the core, right? Which is when they're going to get more value out of their abilities. And Securitas just barely strikes out that primary there and gets a second set in favor of Kia. So I do feel like stylistically, Potemkin Busters have made the right decision there to start approaching core control a bit more than the damage side of things. But it was not in time to actually stop the set to go towards Kia, and Kia is now going to have a wider range to choose from here. The Twin Drive going to do a lot for the Amy to help more offensively, to be more of a threat as the aerials picked up for Erasmus here.
I feel like it's just a good decision overall to just focus on core control. This draft is just the opposite of what we saw earlier, honestly. This is more movement focused in comparison to the last heavy damage sided. We do see the Among Titans getting picked. I'm not fully convinced that was a good choice. I'm just an Among a hater, though. Maybe that's me.
I mean, yeah, there's no reason to hate Among. It's still a great awakening, right? The size down is, yeah, it's a factor, but on the midfield position, if you can deal with that size disadvantage, that extra speed that you get is just so immense, right? Like you're just gonna. I mean, just look at the Finny at the bottom there in the speed zone. No one can really match it anymore, which is gonna help you quite a bit because Finny's gonna be immobile, right? She's gonna be stuck in place a lot. She doesn't have a single mobility or movement ability for herself. So Donset being able to pick up that Among Titans is gonna help quite a bit with that issue of being able to get around the place.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I think I'm just a hater of Among Titans as Ghost just trying to find the kill there. One barrier on both sides. I feel like, yeah, the side of Kia is just trying to stall for A to come back, and it works. The barrier almost being taken. Nice strike from Clean again. Nice clear downwards. They're just shooting away from the F4, which is okay. Yeah, sure. What I mean is they found the clears opposite to where they were walking there. Nice strike by I before the pendulum swing fell there.
Yeah, and the Timeless Creator was really the difference maker on that defense, by the way, because that secondary stayed there for ages. Kiritos tried to set up an attack and just kept bouncing it against the secondary, but nothing was being found because the secondary was not going anywhere.
I feel like Kia is doing a nice job on defense, but they're not finding anymore the right time to take some time to push it through. I feel like they're playing more of let's wait for try cooldown is on and it manages to let the core slip. What I was saying is I feel like they're trying to profit more on the cooldowns of Pumpkin Busters being down and just hook it away from Atlas. I feel like that's what they're trying to do right now on the offense.
I mean, they're gonna try to have to play around it because especially with this expanse, I mean, you can see the size of it, right? Like, it's gonna cover the entire barrier, so you need to bait out a strike, bait out an ability or something and play off of that, and that's ultimately the way you need to play against Atlas as well. You're not gonna be able to force it through them as consistently as they just did here. That was a flip, that was some abilities used, so a lot of expenses to make it, put it through, and again, keep in mind, that's for 1 goal. They need to find 2 more if they want to take home the set here, and Pumpkin Busters are already starting it off with a double barrier.
I feel like now they've got the momentum right to maybe win the set and just capitalize off of it and maybe go into a set 5. Who knows? Because that's the only hope for them right now as they take the last goal of this set and they have a advantage in drafting right now, which is really interesting, depending on how this goes.
Yeah, we will see. A Spark is on Finny, so maybe that even if the Deadeye doesn't fall all the way down to her, that Spark of Agility is going to have value. Rasmus, though, is going to be happy to pick up basically anything here. Curious to see what he's going to go for. Cast the last Siege Machine on the board as well. Okay, Siege Machine going to Atlas, great value awakening, even more damage in the secondary, by the way. Super Search is going to help the Rasmus with, again, mobility. Explosive Entrance is going to enable Klein a lot more to be outfield as the second Spark finds its way to Donsen. And the Rapid Fire, honestly, considering your last pick on Kazan, the Rapid Fire, you're still incredibly happy as a pickup.
I feel like Pumpkin Busters profited more from this just because they were trying to do more core control beforehand. And now they got even more tools to do that. Finny is even faster now with that agility, and Rasmus now has a longer dash here. So let's see how they actually profit of that, as we see that good secondary to just force you through the second barrier, but not quite managing to find the goal, as I say that they managed to hook it away from Amy and slide it past Kai and Amy there.
Yeah, just too much space for Ghost to be working with there, and she just has that hook, has that core control. And I mean, I've said it before, right? Oni Village, it's a map about barriers. It's really more, you're putting yourself at so much more risk once you are down both of the barriers, which is when it gets so much more difficult to defend. If you can just sit on one of them, it makes your life so easy, right? So yeah, sure, you give a barrier here if you're Klein, but ultimately you don't really care. You have the second one still up, and actually the Amy ultimate doing a lot of damage, forcing the evade out of the Finny here. But yeah, that's the reason why the strength on Atlas is so present, because he's gonna hold a barrier for a long time if he's being given the tools to do so, and then that just makes it difficult to actually score on him. They do have the barrier advantage now for the side of Kia. We'll see if they can capitalize on it, or if the side of Potemkin Busters will be able to find another goal or another barrier to set up a potential goal attempt here.
I feel like now with that, also with that siege machine, Kazan cannot rush alone. They need the help of another midfield to get it in. Nice! Primary! Open primary from Kazan, just making sure the burst from I will just slide past the Atlas.
Yeah, really good send-off there. And keep in mind, ETOS did not have to use their flip there, which means they're going to have it available now for this next attack, as they get a first barrier flip coming out from Donson. Not necessarily what you want to be seeing, but the barrier gets traded back. They're trying to get it past Kiritos now, but even the forward at this point already is just finding so many Strike War wins. Obviously, Kazan with that advantageous Strike War hitbox, the Atlas secondary completely shuts off any attempt at defense, though.
And the second barrier is also found there, so I feel like, yeah, Potemkin, but blue team is in such a great advantage right now, because Atlas has just been given the tools to defend for so long. Both he has all three creation awakenings, and that also projectile range is really good on him. So I'm unsure if they can manage to just get it through. The burst comes out, but he managed also to get out of the kill there because it was in kill range of the primary. And honestly, I don't. Every time I say I'm not gonna see a goal soon, something happens. I mean, left the time to finish the sentence.
It'll happen, right? But yeah, I mean, the way you're gonna get through Atlas, you're not gonna get through with like a single bit of burst. What he can attempt to do is set up like an Amy turret, because Atlas has long cooldowns on a baseline. Yes, he has really high value abilities when he does get them out, but they are gonna take a while to come back. So if you just continuously hold on the attack, continuously keep the pressure up, that's when you can get that gap, right, and force him to make a mistake. But for now, Nuish is holding on well. They needed to use a lot to just get that goal. Get the barrier. Well, I jinxed it, actually. Get the goal to even it out. And now, Kia, they lost the set before when they could have won. They're not trying to run it back now. They're one goal away from going 1-1. If Potemkin Busters loses this, they're going to go 0-2 in Swiss, and we're not going to be seeing them in the bracket stage later today.
If I'm not mistaken, both of these teams, I think both of them will get out if maybe I didn't. Yeah,
both of them are 0-1, so whoever loses this is not making it into bracket stage. They still have another game to play, but they're not going to be advancing into bracket.
So this really is just match point for the entire tournament if any of this team loses. I feel like here Kia might have a greater chance of scoring just because of that value of that energy burst. And as I say that, the second barrier falls down, so it could be anyone's game, honestly. I feel like this is gonna go a bit for the long time until
you just kind of gotta stop. Like, stop talking about how long it's gonna go for.
As someone finds the ability, just make it fast going.
I mean, we're going into a set 5.
I'm not gonna say that ever again.
We're going into a set 5, and we're going for a Finny MEP, almost guaranteeing themselves a triple Spark if they wish to pick it up. I do feel like there's a lot of value in going Spark of Focus here. Yeah, get the cooldown. Size for the Kazan's going to make it a lot more difficult to deal with on the defensive end, as Kai's going to be able to pick up a Prime Time, solid pickup as well. Who ended up getting the Rapid Fire this game? It wasn't Kazan. So no Prime Time Rapid Fire this time around. As 1-2 punch Big Fish are going to be the pickup for the Potemkin Busters. Extra special, also huge value for Klein if he's going to be able to set himself up properly. If he's going to be able to get those offensives going without turret and make it difficult for the Atlas to defend. Because again, Atlas is strong at solid sudden bursts. If you have continuous attacks like an Amy turret, he's not going to do well.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that extra special might have been the thing Kia needed to just get this game, because Clint just has so many awakenings sided to the ult there, and just having more, especially with specialized and Monu, is gonna be insane. I feel like.
I mean, yeah, it's going to hold a lot of value. The question is, are you going to be able to get the turrets up in any offensive matter, right? Because yes, having a lot of turrets is great, but if they're not placing themselves in any kind of, like, meaningful way, you might as well have none of them, right? So it's going to help quite a bit, as a beautiful flip will come out, and ETOS will find the hook and strike with it. Very narrowly actually gets it in as well to get themselves a point lead. But I don't think the turret itself is going to do it just alone. We'll see how they're going to be able to play it out. It's also going to be an energy thing, right? Again, a lot of times when you watch these Trials games, the value mainly comes from the flips, because they're just naturally more difficult to deal with. And right, Clarion Corp Trials, it is a rank cap tournament. These players, they're not going to be like the next USL winners almost tomorrow, right? It is a developmental stage for them to play in, and also just for fun one as well.
Yeah.
So you're going to have stuff like that energy burst hold a lot of value in every single interaction. And you've seen it in both of these games today already. When a team had an energy burst advantage and they were able to get value out of it, usually they ended up winning the point.
Yeah, I mean, it just has so much value in general in this tournament. As we see now, Kiri having it, and also Klein. So this might be a bit weird. The great burst stopping it from the Finny ult, which would have been certain doom here. And maybe they're trying to find the goal into the core into Kiri to burst it in.
Oh, Glitchpop just barely gets it. Glitchpop just barely gets it in. A nice snipe there from the card. Whether intended or not, we're gonna say it's intended, and then Dunset is gonna look like a goat, because that happens often when you play Finny. You just kind of make it work. So, yeah, even it out. We're down to a best of 3 in goals now, as one barrier drops. But again, it's one barrier. Who cares? You're going up against Atlas, and no, unfortunate lag for Klein. It's like the worst time.
That was rough. Losing a barrier and mispositioning for the second. Are they gonna go profit for kills right now? As we see the call out coming out. And Kiri is immediately sent to the good positioning my ghost, profiting off the speed there and just striking it in there.
Yeah, they do get the goal in the end, and now Potemkin Busters, even though I think they started off this game in a 0-2 deficit in terms of sets, they found their way back, they found the awakenings that they needed, and now they're one goal away from even winning the whole thing. So we'll see if they're going to be able to pull through. Kia definitely has something to say about it though, as they trade barriers, not a real lethal attack being set onto either of the second barriers, but Kia's definitely looking to find it here, as they're continuously shoving it up top. The secondary from Atlas will come out in time to flip just a bit early there. As the barrier now drops, the Kia is gonna be under pressure now to find this barrier here as soon as they can to kind of get a better attack going on the net. But I mean, you see the Finny and the Atlas, they're playing so well together on that goal position there, just doing so much filtering to disallow any kind of attack to go through. Aishizuku now on the defensive end as well has to use the flip here, but again, Newish is just going to be ready for it with that Atlas. It's Expanse coming out as well. ETOS tries to get a play going, but can't find it in front of the goal now. Klein uses a turret doesn't interact with the core yet.
There's a lot of back and forth. I think that also a good thing that Kia lost with that KO last set is the stacks on stacks now going back to 0. And as I say that, Ghost manages to find the bounce as naked pass through Iron Clarion, and that lets them win the game and move on in the tournament, as Kia sadly will not join us in the final bracket, right?
Yeah, they're 0-2 now, and even though they had a really good showing on the Sunny Village game, you gotta win 2 out of your 3 Swiss stage games. So you still have a game ahead of you. You still have another round to play, but you're not gonna have a shot at making it for the final selection. And I mean, you've been here for a bit. It's 27-minute long game, only Village at its finest, right? And yeah, the KOs kept themselves low as expected, and you can very much see the kind of gameplay that was coming out from the side of the Potemkin Busters. Dunsted with 43 saves on the midfield position. Even Ghost got involved with 10 at times. So they just locked it down in the back, and Kia just weren't able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, when they switched from a major KO side of the plan to just plain core control, the game really rolled in their favor, as they got blessed also with really good awakenings, I feel.
Yeah, they got everything they were needed to set themselves up. But, I mean, hey, we're not done yet, right? We got another round of Swiss stage coming towards you soon. So we will go into a short little break again to set that up. Kish, any last words?
Get orbs.
Get orbs. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the last round of the Swiss stage. We have the Slime Mafia Gaming against the side of too long of a name to me to remember really quick. General Dumbra Squad. Very long names. The UIs are going to look really great. But yeah, Slime Mafia Gaming 1-1. General Dumbra Squad 1-1. Whoever wins this is going to make it into the bracket stage. So, important game. Also, in case you didn't notice, Kish had like, I don't know, name change and like everything changed. How you doing, Imek?
I am doing great. We have made sure that Kish has been taken care of, and now I'll be here taking his place very professionally.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen some Clarion Corp action before, right? You were here last week. You were able to enjoy a little bit of the Mega Strikers gameplay. And talking about enjoying a Mega Strikers gameplay, we'll see how the teams are gonna enjoy it because we're on Demon Dice.
We're going straight into the fun.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the map pool, right? We had Nat Lab and Oni Village. You gotta have some chaos. And we'll see how it's gonna pay out here. Obviously, by the way, really quick, I just kind of want to give a special shout out. I don't know who did it on the side of Slime Mafia Gaming, but their logo on StarGG, it's really sick. I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you haven't, open up the bracket really quick and just go look at that. Look at that logo. I love it. It looks great.
USL quality icon right there.
Arguably more than some others.
I feel like that was a dig towards me.
No. Everyone watching, you'll see the logo for Big Bean Burrito in due time. It's also really good. I'm thinking about past seasons, right? Like, hey, Tripod Fish, my goats. Was it a good logo? Yeah. I don't know. TMCT season 1. I shall not speak. I shall not speak.
Okay, enough talk about beautiful icons and those who weren't. We see Demon Dice, and so far, we can still do predictions on what awakenings there are.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm sensing some extra special, some timeless or something.
Oh, something really fun for everyone involved.
It's timeless. It's timeless on you. I'm 99% sure because both Rune and Dubu extra special could also really work.
I mean, it could in essence be the extra special still, right? Because both of these characters also would love themselves some extra special to be playing with. So we'll see. I mean, wait. Did Tay take some Alex lessons? Oh, I don't think they intended to pick this.
Also, I don't 100% remember, but I don't think it's supposed to be alternating. I think it's supposed to be snake draft, no?
It's supposed to be snake draft, yeah. So yeah. We'll see as the lobby settings are gonna figure themselves out. So yeah, Emek, how's your day been?
It has been glorious so far, except for the scrims we played against Zoo, but I shall not speak. It has not been going fine in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hey, it'll happen, right? But hey, that's a setup for USL, right? USL is, for everyone that doesn't know, basically around the corner. We're like a week away. Tomorrow in a week is going to be the first game day for USL, so do stay tuned for that. I'm hyped for it. I can't wait to play again. I had to wait out the entire qualification process. I want to play some. I want to play some tournaments. It's gonna be good. Also, for note as well, they had to remake the lobby as some settings were still incorrect. However, due to the rulings of the Clarion Corp trials, you are gonna have to remake it basically the identical lobby. So you're gonna have to run back the bands. You're gonna have to run back the awakenings. And because they have to run back the awakenings, I now know what the awakenings are. Imek, do you want to know what the awakenings are?
Of course, I can read them myself, but you can obviously tell me because I don't know.
I mean, after all, we all know you cannot read. So it is Spark of Focus and Among Titans. So Sparks and Speed could be a bit interesting.
somehow no actual like the Creation Awakenings. So it's kind of surprised that both Dubu and Rune got banned then.
I mean,
But
it could
guess
just
both are
be.
annoying to play against.
It could just also be like a comfort thing, right? Like maybe the players know something about each other that they just kind of want to take out. Maybe Toasty's just a go to Dubu in the net. Maybe Dishu is gonna be the best rune we've ever seen. It's all possible. Fork could also be the best rune. I think actually it would be Fork. Dishu is, I think, the forward. But yeah, we're in a little bit of a break phase as we're trying to everything work out here. And yeah, Nero, you did hear Zoo. Imac said they absolutely dog walked you today, and they can't wait to meet you in brackets this Sunday in Bulk Up Battlegrounds.
This is the exact opposite of what I said, but okay, sure. We need some beef before EUSL, right? we need some narratives.
The narrative: Big Bean Dorito against Zoo. Who wins? I don't know. How well do zoo animals like deal with eating a burrito? I'm not sure. Yeah, Sunday is Mother's Day. You're very correct. I did kind of like forget about that, but we'll chill.
I mean,
you should still play Bob.
Yeah, like come on.
If you're around, obviously.
Is Bob not more important than your mother?
Okay, calm down. maybe let's not go there.
It is not, but nah, I don't have a but.
Good.
There's no reason to not enjoy Mother's Day.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, we are in a little bit of a break here as we're trying to figure this out. Other than that, hey Mac, how are you feeling about current meta?
I dislike DD.
How's that to do anything with meta?
DD is currently in the game. It's in EUSL week 1 to 3. It's currently in ranked rotation. I dislike DD. So...
Guys, you heard it here first. Draft DD against Big Bean Burrito, and it's a win.
That's the issue. Just because I don't like the map doesn't mean my teammates don't love it. And if 2 teammates love it and 1 hates it, we still have to play it. That's how a team works. That's why we keep playing all of the EU maps with Atlab and Taiko and.
Well, no, because
Clarion
Atlab and Taiko are just objectively the best maps. So that's why we keep playing them. Because they're the correct maps.
They're the correct maps.
Yeah, I mean, are they not? All of you seems to agree, so you'll know Nero, you'll know matchup a week ahead, aka tomorrow.
Nero did
Smile.
not read. Smile.
Did we do it? I'm gonna be real. Did we put that out somewhere? I forgot.
I think it was stated when.
It probably was stated, yeah. You still have it from last season, the FAQ. That still holds up as well. But yeah. Well,
half hours to this.
Don't worry, Nero. We're gonna make sure you get what's the matchup you hate the most? We can make sure to get that to you week 1, and then I think that should be fine.
What's the name again? It's let me check before I say something wrong. Surely you want to play against Luminous Astrals.
Why did it take so long to figure that one out?
I don't remember how the team name was.
Hi, Imac pop quiz. All team names right now in EUSL. Go.
Zoo, Luminous Astrals. Obscura.
Already wrong.
Huh?
Already wrong.
The Zoo.
Yes, you just said Zoo.
And then no, I said the Zoo.
No, you said Zoo.
Bruh.
Right, we're going into Demon Dice here. Now we'll see what the teams are going to be opting for, obviously. Again, the Spark of Focus among Titans start is going to be a decent bit polarizing. I'm going to be expecting them to play heavy on the Among Titans. Maybe there is some strategy where the Brawler's not going to go Among and just going to go play Giga Size. especially with all the size awakenings that have been nerfed recently as well, it can have quite a bit of value to it now to go for some kind of size gameplay.
I still want to see more of the Among Titans start. 2 people take Among Titans, and your forward just takes Giga size.
I mean, that
Imagine
we've tried that before, I think.
Imagine you have Colossus start with Among Titans. Whoever is your forward is gonna be a gigantic. What's happening again?
I don't know. We'll look into it. We'll look into it.
Apparently Jank is here.
Yeah, it happens, right? Not everything can be figured out. Oh yeah, it's still the draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nero wants me to say USL teams now again.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it's the Zoo.
Yeah.
Luminous Astrals.
Yeah.
It's Obscura.
Yeah.
It's TMCT.
Yeah.
It's Big Bean Burrito.
Yeah.
It's Turkeen's Cats.
Yeah.
It's Forged Fury. That's the name.
Yeah.
And who kept their spot as well?
Ooh.
Someone else had to keep their spot.
He doesn't know.
No, wait. 3 teams kept their spot. It's Zoo as well. It's not
Guys,
iPhone anymore.
it's confirmed. He doesn't know. He is a fraud and a fake.
I am a fraud and a fake. Why am I blanking so hard on this?
Yeah, I don't know either.
We talked about this in scripts today as well.
I don't know why you're blanking on this. Listen, it's fine.
Is it? Oh wait, it's What's their team name again?
That goes crazy, Nero.
It's former.
Go on, at least
Diamond
last
Hole.
season's name. Yeah, okay. At least last season's name, yeah. Then,
Yeah.
they go by
I
Happy
don't know
Girls
the
now.
name.
They go by Happy Girls now. But yeah. We are going into the game now. The draft is proper. The Spark of Focus and Among Titans are our awakenings. We're going to see our picks. The Mako, the Juno, and the Kazan coming up for the side of Slime Mafia Gaming. And the Kai, Rasmus, Asher coming out for General Dumbra Squad. So we'll see how they're going to be executing on this. And as expected, there is both strategies going on here. 3 Among Titans for the side of Slime Mafia Gaming, 2 Among Titans for the side of General Dumbra Squad, with 1 Spark on the Rasmus. So we're playing Giga size Rasmus here on Demon Dice. So we'll see how well that's going to work out for them as the game has started.
I mean, honestly, I'm a bit sad. There's not as much KO in this as I would have hoped for a DD game, but I do see the funny Among Titans threat, so I'm happy.
I mean, and it's still a DD game, right? Like, the KOs, they're gonna naturally start to happen as drafts are gonna come through, because both of these awakenings are not necessarily damage awakenings, which means every single other damage awakening that we have in rotation right now, which arguably are quite a bit, is gonna be in this draft, at least at one point during the game. But a great Giga there, actually, for General Umbra will secure the first goal here, as the momentum seems very in favor of General Dumbra's squad here right now.
Yeah, really nice primary into strike, into special. Basically not defendable for Tay, just because he didn't have any more abilities left, so...
Yeah, couldn't quite get it going there, as the Barrage's gonna come through, almost gets past Tay, but still holds on for now. Open goal again, though. Not really a situation you want to find yourself in if you are Mako. Want to look to get the score over to enemy side as fast as possible, but Davide coming out with a flip there. Or David E? No, I'm gonna say Davide. I'm sorry if I messed that one up. Going by my gut here.
David 3.
Day 4 vid 3.
Day 4 vid 3. It's DVD.
Okay, let's calm down. The barrier advantage now in the favor of Slime Mafia Gaming here. Slime Mafia Gaming, though. Can they get the first barrier drop completely? I mean, they do have Toasty on the Asher, right? And Asher is a difficult character to try to force past. Especially if you don't have any kind of solid force. Obviously, Kazan can have some outplays to him, but the Kazan and the Juno, they excel at playing around, which still is efficient against Asher, but on a map like this, it's gonna be a bit more difficult to execute, as the video will actually find the KO there with the Death's Touch, gets a second barrier as well, and General Umbre surely gonna secure the skull. No flip coming out from Tay Deuce, but not finding a solid clear yet. Toasty holding a really aggressive line as well here, by the way. Making sure to be as annoying for the enemy's offense as he can be. And the goal will be found. Great strike from Davida there. Puts it into the corner. And a 3-0 set now in the favor of General Dumbre's squad here.
Yeah, really fast set going to the side of General Dumbre's squad. We also see the Might of the Colossus has to be picked up here, I feel like. I mean, they do go Spark, which makes sense as well. With the size, probably Might would have been also really good, but I see the reason why they're sparking, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you already have some size. So.
And you're looking at a spark of agility, more notably, further down the line. If you can get an agility as your third spark awakening here for the V-Day, you're going to be even faster. Arguably already going to be caught up with the Among Titans deficit. But overall, I think pretty solid pickups. The Super Search for Mako is going to do a lot of work in helping with that mobility. Fork being able to pick up a Stacks and Stacks is going to do really good as well, as they find a KO even. Maybe try to find an angle off this power play to get this barrier off of Toasty, as almost to get the first barrier, but Davida and Toasty holding on really well for now, as the attack has slowed down again. Umbre back on the field now. The Kai gonna do quite a bit of damage on that core control front.
He's trying to get the Gigas with the perfect angle. Barely misses there. Would have looked insanely cool. But you can't always get the nice Gigas. But already, General Umbre has shown like the really good proficiency on this Kai.
Yeah, but for the first time this game, the net is actually open on the side of General Umbre, and almost immediately gets punished there, as Fork finds a very nice Blobo to get it past Davida and Toasty there to get a point lead for them now. In this set, they can play off of this momentum as well, as they have an energy advantage overall. Only Toasty has flipped. Meanwhile, the entirety of Slime Mafia Gaming are going to have one available to themselves soon, and evades are continuously being forced out. As Umbre is almost down to just almost no evades. Has one for now, but that can change.
Yeah, I mean, especially right now, looking at the Tay, 2 flips forced actually on the defensive side, so getting second barrier with the flip on the forwards. Now Toasty still has his flip, so still somewhat defensive possibilities. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he's gonna defend that open goal. Asher also not that good at defending open goal unless the core comes from the corner, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Asher's very good at defending head-on attacks, right? So as long as you can get kind of an angle on the attack going, it's gonna be a bit more difficult for that character to really properly defend that, as we're now on 2 open goals here. And again, both defensive goalies, they're not insane at holding down an open net. The strike comes out a little bit late from Tay there to actually get the goal in favor of the side of General Dumbre's squad here, evening it out.
Yeah. Davida getting the perfect primary into strike, honestly. Nice cover and good timing as well. Tay kind of just not striking at the right time, so losing that goal, we're going to 1-1. And it's still, in my opinion, pretty even if you just look at the game in general. That one was a 3-0, but that doesn't mean anything, honestly.
Doesn't mean anything yet, as the ultimate comes out from the Mako here as well. Tries to get the KO on Kai, but can't quite find it, as the barrier now does drop. And the pressure's just very present, right? They can't get the core out through that corner and past the Kai, and with just enough pressure over time, it's just gonna come down to a missed strike at one point, right? That can be that difference maker that they find. And yeah, General Dumbre now 1 goal away from taking a second set here. Looking really strong. Again, this is a qualification game for the bracket. Both of these teams are 1-1. So Slime Mafia Gaming are going to have to find a different approach sometime soon if they want to be kept in here. And Dishuyu actually with a... or Dishuyu? Yeah, Dishuyu finding a great KO here. Power play now in favor of Slime Mafia Gaming, but a great return for the Vide actually. Will put it right back, and now a small power play in favor of General Dumbre.
They lose the barrier here, even though they have the power play, but they already had been on the defensive, so kind of unfortunate timing for a power play to not be able to convert it, get it forward. But now they have the open goal situation.
Ooh.
Asher stands a little bit too close to the goal line, gets umbrellaed on the goal line with flip also, so that one's gone as well. But good defense so far from the side of the General Dumbre squad.
Yeah, they're holding it down even though they were at a disadvantage for so long. And now actually on the attack here as well as Davide has a flip available. It's going to get damaged by the Kazan. Needs to be careful not to be taken out. The Shuyu doing a really good job, but never mind. The Juno blobs are going to be enough as Fork finds the angle and putting us into a 0.5 situation here.
Yeah, the blobos, they cover so much. Doesn't matter the map, doesn't matter when. Oh, unfortunate double barrier. Unfortunate strike angle in that case. They do keep 3 people on their own barrier. don't want to lose it, especially now that they have the flip on Davide. So probably looking at using that offensively. General Umbra also very close. First flip gets defended. Second flip should come up really soon.
Fork's also going to be close to having a flip though, and Tay has a flip on his own, so he could answer Umbra's flip if he needs to. Umbra actually doesn't get any value on the flip as 1 barrier drops. The Shuyu on the attack now gets taken out, but Fork has a flip on his own. It's going to use it here and barely misses the barrier's angle there as the Giga Blast comes out. Can't find the goal yet. They're just gonna have to survive. Throw you back on the field now, and again Tay has a flip if it comes down to it. You want to hold that and have that ready for when you need it, as the attack is continuously being built on Toasty. Not finding the barrier on the side of the Slime Mafia Gaming for now though, as the defense just holding up so well.
Yeah, really nice defense here from both sides, honestly. Gets the barrier. Core has an awkward angle. Does get defended. Now, Mako used her flip. Asher used her flip as well. So no flips on either side. Not really close to any flips either. Closest ones would be Rasmus and Juno. Offense is just relentless at this point.
Yeah, that's the downside of playing like these 3 people on the defensive end, right? Because yes, you're holding on to the point right now, but if you get the core out, it doesn't go anywhere. There's no one to receive it, and there's no one to start a counter-attack. And with time, Fork and Tishuyu are just kind of found the force, found the angle to take the set and put themselves even overall to kind of start the fight here, as we do have the spark of agility in this draft. I wonder if who of the two is going to deny it. Yeah, Fork's going to have to take it away. Does not want to give that 3 sparks to the Rasmus, very understandable. Tried to get the big fish on Kazan, obviously being denied off of, but the prize fighter is going to do quite a bit of work for him in that damage department because they were able to find a lot of KOs, right? So there's a lot of value to be found there as the rapid fire was going to help the Rasmus with force. Siege Machine going to do a lot for the Mako here as well because it's just going to add more damage, more force to that ultimate. And lastly, the Timeless Creator, little known interaction, actually good for Asher because when you use your primary on your secondary, you have creations on top of you that are gonna be standing there for a longer amount of time. So Timeless, not a useless awakening. Matter of fact, on goalie Asher, pretty good.
Pretty good. On forward Asher, still kind of weird, but on goalie Asher for certain, something that helps you defend more. Forward Asher, obviously it's not that good because your barriers break the first time they hit core. At least they're supposed to. Asher passive, certainly something that had some bug fixes that may or may not have worked.
I don't know, I think Asher always worked perfectly fine. No, Imac? I mean, obviously you would know.
I would definitely know as the resident Mako player in EU, has been and always will be.
They're getting the force through, and it's getting a lot more oppressive from the side of Slime Mafia Gaming. Compared to that first set, they're holding this core and enemy half a lot longer now, and the Shuyu also gonna be getting a little bit more comfortable on this Kazan pick, as unfortunately the core does slide past both Forg and Tay there, flip going wide from the V-Day, as the energy overall seems to be rather low. You do have Flip on Toasty and Umbre that is halfway there, but every other member in this game right now on 0 of 8s, but a KO found. That's a prize fighter stack as well for Dishuyu, which means this Kazan damage is just going to continue to stack up even more as the game's going to progress, and the mix up with the Juno Blobos will find the angle and get the score for Forg.
Hashtag get umbrellaed.
Sure.
I mean, it keeps happening the entire round. I feel like someone is always not respecting the umbrella at the side. This time it was a stagger kill, so technically not what happened the last few times, but it happens a lot in the first 2 sets where the Shuyu just finds the angle perfectly. Someone is standing too close to the edge. And now getting the first kill, honestly, for that prize fighter will always just help you KO more.
Yeah, most definitely. And I feel like the thing about like Open Umbrella Kazanas as well, it's one of the few KO awakenings that stay there for a little bit, right? It's not a Julie dash punch where in that exact moment where she's going to try to dash punch past you, you cannot be in that position. The Open Umbrella Kazan shuts off that area completely for the entirety of the duration of it being there, which means a lot of people get kind of caught off guard by it due to it being there for a bit longer. And also, people just don't really think of that ability as something that can just take you off on the edge, because it also doesn't feel like it just has the power behind it, but it does have quite a bit of power when you look at the numbers behind.
It's basically a slightly different dash punch, in my opinion. It's just about the same power. I feel like the same stagger damage. Obviously, knockback is a bit less, but it's still a lot of damage.
Ooh, the angle was just right. Toasty not using the flip there actually is the reason why that goal went in. Unfortunate. And the Slime Mafia Gaming, they have almost 2 flips here. So if they play their cards right, they could maybe even close out the set in a quick 3-0, which would obviously be huge for them. Puts them 1 set away from making it into the playoffs again. Again, as a reminder as well, I do believe that Slime Mafia Gaming made it into that bracket stage last week. So definitely one of the top contenders here to make it all the way through into the final selection.
Yeah. I mean, as well, something to keep in mind, if you 3-0 right here as Slime Mafia Gaming, you technically just reverse the first set, because General Dumbreswat was the team that 3-0'd then. So you always have the mental edge then.
You always have the mental edge, but in the end, wasn't enough. The goal was being found, the flips didn't really find their targets, but that is, again, just 1 goal, right? You have at the very least 2 other points to take home the set for you if you are Slime Mafia Gaming, and as long as you're not losing yourself in the sauce, you're just keeping your head down, continue to play it out as you need to, play for that control, play for that force, and just overwhelm the Ash as much as you can. You have plenty of avenues here to find the set win, as the Juno's going to go incredibly fast here. Mako Secondary going to help so much with speed as well, as of course bouncing back and forth. Fork is getting down to half HP, could be in KO territory, but a great strike war from Dishuyu will actually get a barrier. An even better strike war from General Umbre, though, will get a double barrier there, well executed, as Tay is now yet again in an open goal.
Yeah, Rasmus being stuck a little bit in the baby cage, but still fine. Well, I was afraid that he might get knocked back into it and gets a lot of damage. Didn't happen, luckily for him. Juno with the flip. Doesn't quite get past.
Yeah,
defense there.
Got a bit ambitious on that flip there. The Rasmus hook a little bit unfortunate, but Tay wasn't ready to respond. And energy advantage slightly in favor of General Dombre now. So going into this point 5, I feel like this is going to be an important point, because we've seen a lot of like strong awakenings, but there's still a plenty of strong ones left in the pool, and with each set that is going, right, you have another chance at getting these high value awakenings. So you do want to find the set when you want to put yourself in a situation where you just need one more to get the game and get that qualification into the bracket stage.
Yeah. Something to do keep in mind though, there are no sparks anymore. They are all taken, so that one's not gonna scale too much anymore. But there's still like a lot of awakenings out there, especially for the Rasmus. I think both Big Fish and Build Different are still open.
I think Big Fish is out already. Big Fish is on the Kai, yeah. But Build Different's still gonna be here. Recovery Drone is also gonna be somewhere still. The KO is being found. I was about to point out that the Shuyu almost has flip, but being taken off the map obviously immediately gets rid of that as Tay has a flip on the defensive end. Probably should have to use it here soon. Does use it, gets it out, gets the angle, and Toasty wasn't there in time. Didn't have the reaction to use the flip, but the goal goes in. Huge set for the side of Slime Mafia Gaming.
Yeah, I was about to say the prize fighter stack also gets lost now that he got KO'd, but I don't think that matters anymore.
I don't think he cares about it anymore. And we are now in this draft that we were so talkative about. The fight or flight going to Tay, denying the movement speed. Extra special. Solid pickup for Asher. Not sure if the best though, as a Monumentalist is going to be picked up for the Juno, helping with that damage. Size for the Erasmus, heavy impact on Kazan. I feel like this Kazan's going to continue to just be, even from set to set, it's going to turn into a bigger damage and KO threat. As now you don't only have Prize Fighter, you will have a baseline of heavy impact, which is going to help you with cooldowns quite a bit. And I mean, you know how much these Kazan abilities can change the outcome of a set. We've seen it a few times with KOs. We've seen a few really great hooks as well today already, so we'll see if that's going to be the game changer here, as both barriers drop pretty swiftly on the side of Slime Mafia Gaming.
Yeah, something I also just realized, extra special on Asher is going to be insane in the defense, because he already has Timeless. So that Asher ult is going to stay there a long time.
Yeah, it's going to continue to be a threat, and it's difficult to play around if the core's already caught inside of it, but ooh, really nice angle from Davide there to be found. Forg and Tay positioning a little bit too high up there and gave him that shot to put it right in. Tay and Forg do have flip soon, but the entirety of General Dumbre not too far of a flip on their own there.
First barrier goes down. Flips for their own barrier. I mean, makes sense if you just want to be safe and keep your own barrier up. I feel like on DD, defending the barrier is quite difficult. Taking the barrier is also quite difficult. So you're kind of always stuck in this weird situation. David a bit low here. Still has the recovery drone. Used his energy to flip because he had that up, obviously.
Ooh, really nice defense, but Jumper's attack was just better. The recovery drone should go out here, yeah, so that's already great value for the side of Slime Mafia Gaming, because that means now the prize fighter stacking can also start happening on this Erasmus. But General Umbre doing a good job applying pressure on this guy character, making use of that speed. Attack going back through Toasty here. Toasty again has a flip, but that hasn't stopped the side of Slime Mafia Gaming from scoring on him twice so far, so we'll see if it's going to hold that value as the core is going back and forth here. And the attack gets found Davide with a late strike, mixes up Forg and Tay there, and puts him in a 2-0 position in the sets. They're trying their hardest to force a set 5 here.
I mean, you know how it goes, right? You keep the flip for next set, because that definitely works. And obviously in a set 5, you do want that flip, right?
Well, it would be insane.
Your energy does not, and obviously your energy does not reset in between sets. No.
I mean, yeah, for everyone not catching on, yeah, it does. So try to get your set out, your flip out before anything else happens. But the attack is just being very suffocating. This kind, just Rasmus doing a good job using their abilities here. But the KO finally found for Shuyu. This is going to get the prize fighter stacks going as Fork tries to get the flip out. But Asher, such a good character defensively to deal with flips as well. Barrier does end up dropping in the end as we're now in an open goal. And the Kazan hook just takes it away right under the nose from Toasty to put it right in. Slime Mafia Gaming trying to get the next 2 goals here to just call the game right here. They don't want to see a set 5.
I just realized we have Among Titans, stacks on stacks, Spark of Agility, Magnetized Souls, Juno.
Yeah, she's a bit fast.
That's it. I mean,
Unfortunate.
not anymore. Not anymore. Gotta take 7 more seconds, but I think that also does not matter anymore.
Yeah, unfortunate situation to find yourself in, as we're now going into a set 5. And it's a set 5 for qualification for the bracket stage, right? So it's gonna have a lot of value to it. There's some heavy hitters here. The 1-2 punch being denied off the Juno, just not wanting to deal with that extra speed that the Blobus can be providing as builder from Finds to Erasmus as well. That size going to help quite a bit. The aerial's going to make the Juno jump a lot bigger as well. The reverberation going to help a bit with that cooldown and the survivability. A stinger goes to Asher. Not going to do an incredible amount. Explosive entrance is going to help Kazan again with a lot more damage. So we'll see how this is going to pan out.
I'm a bit sad we didn't see Adrenaline Rush. It doesn't really matter who would have gotten it, but it would have been funny to see how fast Juno could have been with the Adrenaline Rush. Because they do keep getting kills, right? So, just how fast can a Juno go?
Yeah, still don't think it's going to be the best. As the core finds its way past they're unfortunate to not get the strike. As the first goal in the set 5 is going to go towards the side of General Dumbre here. And they do need just 2 more to put themselves into the bracket stage.
Yeah. I mean, this could honestly really go either 2 ways. One team could run over the other in this game, or we get to set 5.5, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Either way.
Oh,
no.
the aerials was there.
Aerials.
The aerials came in.
Aerials.
See, you wanting to get the adrenaline rush here. Evidently, you don't, because that's what you have the aerials for. Okay, open goal still though on the side of Slime Mafia Gaming. They do really want to find the second barrier, because as it stands right now, the Asher can be playing a lot further up than you really want her to, simply just due to the positioning. But a nice hook will intercept that flip almost immediately. And now General Dumbre just 1 goal away from going into the bracket stage here.
Yeah, insane hook right after the flip. Goes to match point. General Dumber Squad really just getting their power in right now. Davida having no problems anymore, luckily. Really not the time you want to have some technical issues.
Yeah, it's not what you're gonna be looking out for, but you do find a barrier for the side of Slime Mafia Gaming. There's 2 flips available for the other side, but the flip comes out, the flip gets returned, and the barrier gets returned as now you're on the attack of Slime Mafia Gaming. You want to find the goal fast here, because it's not only about a thing of just lowering the risk, you want to get a kind of a mental momentum going as well. This flip comes out from Teidu's there, doesn't find the goal yet. The Blobo is going to be there to intercept though, and the attack can't really get built for the side of General Dumbre yet. They're trying to get something going, trying to get the barrier, get 1 touch on it. The Kazan in front of the goal gets denied by the Kai though, as again, Slime Mafia Gaming on the defensive end here. They just really need to find a solid attack here, so second barrier goes down as well.
On the offensive now, wins the strike war. He doesn't need the prize fighter stack. He just wants to show that he can do it without. It's that simple, right?
Yeah, that's just got it through in the end. And now Slime Mafia Gaming 2 more to find themselves further on in this round. They do lose a barrier, they lose the second one, so a lot of pressure now on the defensive end there to hold on to this defense as they find a single barrier take here. Can I find a second one?
Yeah, they have to be scared of the Kai Giga. They have to be scared of the Kai Barrage. Both things, something General Umbra has shown that he can use quite effectively. They do get the flip out of Rasmus, but they also get the KO on Kazan once again. Really unfortunate defense side here.
Trying to hold on, but the Kai Barrage just too much there. Umbra was able to walk up, was able to get the core captured right within his grasp, and in the end, he does find the goal, and with that, he finds his team a position in the bracket stage. Slime Mafia Gaming, still not a bad showing. Just had a few too many of the mistakes coming through in the end. And again, you can see a lot of saves across the team on the side of General Dumbre, all of them doing the work to not get scored on there.
The game did not feel like 27 minutes, I'm gonna be real.
It did not feel like it, yeah.
It was 27-40, it did not feel like that at all.
That is very
It did
true.
not feel like that at all.
A lot of touches on Fork there as well. Almost 300 redirects, just a little bit shy on it. So they did find that efficiency, but again, it wasn't enough. Slime Mafia Gaming can have a run back in a future season, mayhaps, but this is where their season ends, as we now have our 4 teams that have made it through to the bracket stage of today. If I'm not mistaken, that's going to be General Dumbre Squad. It's going to be Skibidi Sigma, our game 1 team that we expected. It's 2 Shrimple, and it's the Veagles. So we'll see how they're going to be panning out, as we're going to go into, yet again, a short little break to make sure everything is set up correctly for that bracket stage. So do not go anywhere. We will be right back. And we are back. Welcome, welcome. We are now in the bracket stage. Bracket stage being rather small, only 2 best of ones being played out. One between the Veagles and Skibbity Sigma, the other one against 2 Shrimple in general, Dumbraze, Group, and the one that we're in is the Veagles against Skibbity Sigma. The Veagles we didn't see today yet. They were the team that went 3-0 in total. 3-0 in total. And yeah, they have yet to lose a game, and we'll see how well they're going to be doing here as well, as we are going to play on Gates of Obscura. Obviously, there's a map draft attached to this stage of the game, so gonna be seeing some priorities come out. Obscura being a pick that is definitely suiting a team here, otherwise you wouldn't go for it. Bans coming out, Kazan and Vice. Does that mean we're looking for KO here this game? Or could that just be like comfort picks taken out?
Maybe. I know that the Kazan ban is definitely taking comfort picks away, as Sloth knows, but Stream doesn't. May or may not have played with the Skibbity Sigma goalie in a tournament before. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they developed. And if they can go into the... What was it again? Final selection?
Into the final selection, yeah. Winner of this will move on to the final selection. Currently, we do have 2 teams already waiting there for them. Those being the Amigos and the Baguette Boys. And one of these 2 teams is going to join them in that final bracket, which will happen Sunday next week. But first, before we do any of that, we're going to have to go through this game. And it's an extra special starter across the board, so we won't even know what the Last Awakening was, as we have some, I feel like, pretty comfort picks coming out all across the field here. We've seen the Amy on Gobino before, we've seen the Rune on Not So Easy. I feel like a more solid team composition coming out of the side from Beagles, right? The Kai, the Asher, gonna do quite a bit of damage just on the front, on the offensive field here. As they've traded barriers pretty swiftly, though. Spottyland trying to get the second barrier as well, but the Strike Wars just being in favor of the side of the Veagles for now.
Yeah, also something that I do like on the side of Veagles more is just the Asher forward. I am not biased because I play it, I am biased because it likes corners.
I mean, you can also be biased because you like it, it's possible, right? We're not gonna... There's a lot of that, but I mean, yeah, it's really good on corners, especially on a map like this. You want something like that, right? And also together with the extra special, I feel like there can be quite a bit of value found there, as the ultimate on Asher is also really difficult to deal with.
Yeah. Speaking out of experience, having played a lot against me, of course.
Okay.
I see.
Flip coming up from Gobino here, though, and the redirect almost puts it in. Jacobo Yao, I think that is. Yeah, is holding on to the defense for now, but in the end, the Juliet's going to be enough. And I mean, that's going to be the win con for the Julie, right? You're trying to get that force through. You're trying to get it through the net like that, and that's how you get it, right? The flip is still available for the Julie as well, which could either be A, potential for a KO to be found, or B, could just be straight up a confirm as well on the attack, because again, it's going to be difficult to be dealing with if you are not something like an Asher, or not something like an Atlas on that defense. Now only really has her secondary mine to interrupt the kind of setup, uses a primary as well as a second strike, but it's still not an easy matchup to play out.
I mean, to be fair, you can also just put the now primary at whatever point you want. I think that's also really good to counter any flip. Using both barriers here really fast after the flip, so using the flip very effectively, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. Flip on V as well here as they're trying to run up. They get second barrier as well. Again, once Asher is in that tight spot, right? It's so difficult to get the core away from her as the dash comes out from Spotty. Then almost a mix-up there from Not So Easy. V on the attack, though. Flip on Gobino will not have to use it just yet. V uses their flip here. Flip coming out from Gobino. Suplex almost being taken off the map, but holds on just barely, as Not So Easy is back on the attack. Again, Spotty Lane trying to find this KO, but can't quite close it off. As Suplex is back to being unstaggered, And the course bouncing back and forth. Flips and strikes coming out. Not flips, strikes coming out. Suplex holding the core in the corner there with that primary. And will find the goal past Gabino.
Going 2-1 after what feels like ages, honestly. Both teams feel like they're playing quite... Ooh. Was there now primary, I think? Looked weird. Anyway, I think so far it's looked rather even in the game. As I say this, double barrier taken from the sides of Vehicles. Also in a power play situation, nice Giga Blast. I should not have spoken.
Yeah, caster curses are real, but we'll see how this draft's gonna play out. Everyone on extra special start is gonna open up quite a few picks here, and Kai is gonna get the aerials here, which is gonna do so much. Kai is such an oppressive pick on this map as well, because with more speed, you're gonna just be difficult to deal with. The Castellas is likely going to fall to now here as well, which is going to help even more with that ramp up using the secondaries. The 1-2 punch, a great KO awakening for the Julie. Same with Deadeye for the Amy. So it looks like the side of Skibidi Sigma is actually going to opt for creating power plays, trying to find KOs on those edges and play off of those. As the Adrenaline Rush and the Reverberation pickup for Suplex and Not So Easy are going to be the finishing picks here. We'll see how well they're going to be doing, but they're not going to be as valuable as some of these other awakenings that have been picked up.
I mean, so far, looks like one team is looking for murder. The other team tries to just win the game by winning everything that includes the game.
So murder is not included in the game?
No, I meant it as in like the space in the game, not like all of the game mechanics.
Yeah, that's definitely. As they're trying to force the corner to the top there, but Gabino actually with a great Amy turret will hold on to it. Use the flip here as well, sends it up to Not So Easy. Trying to set up an attack here, but V using great portal play to suplex there to set them up. As the Asher Dash does go a bit south there. Set up here, Banish coming out, but no pillar can be set up here as a clear comes out. Spotty trying to get the dash punch in, but can't get the angle. As now is also playing a bit more aggressive there with the ultimate. Core still defended well though. And we are on gates, right? Oh, great pillar. Great pillar execution. But we are on gates, which is going to be very heavy on those portals, right? If you're playing around them well, you're going to find a lot of advantages. And that's where you're going to be finding those little, those little plays that you need if you want to win, if you are in a close game like this can potentially be.
I mean, I hope it's going to be a close game. Both teams so far looking like they can make it a close game, for sure. Getting the kill, getting the Adrenaline proc as well. Didn't actually see that was picked up. Something to always keep in mind. Asher kind of wants to get in the perfect situations. If they get a kill and have a power play, and they get the Adrenaline proc, that just means Asher can be at the right place faster. So... really nice pickup there. Gets a really good ult as well. Has to flip for offensive.
Ooh, tried to flip for the KO there, but didn't get it as Gabino finds the strikes past Suplex. Gabino's taking a lot of damage. Flip coming through the portal there, but gets defended. Spottyland using their flip here as well and get a barrier off of a fortunate bounce. As Gabino's slowly getting that HP back. But still holding on. The Giga Blast is enough to take him out, though. Power play now in the favor of the Veagles.
No longer getting that HP back, it seems. Really nice Giga there, taking out Gabino. And without a goalie, it's hard to defend, especially if you're just a Julie and a Rune trying to defend against an Asher and Kai. I feel like both these characters do exactly the opposite of what you want on the side of Skibidi Sigma.
Yeah, most definitely. The Amy turret is going to help you a bit with that defense, but as Amy, it's just so difficult to defend against that. And you can see it here. The Asher just naturally such a force to just continue building that attack, continue building up that pressure. Gabino's holding on to the point for now, but barriers again are both gone. And Asher's now in front of your neck, close with a flip as well as V uses their flip. Barrier being found by Not So Easy though. One of them, the second one not yet. Suplex has a flip, does use it early, but the Giga Blast recovers as they find another goal.
Insane Gigas we have seen on stream, honestly. I don't think I've seen a really bad Giga the entire time I've cast here. I don't think there has been like one that own goals or even something close.
Don't jinx it now.
I would never.
You would never.
I would never.
Real. Okay, we'll see. The play is strongly built up though. It seems to be looking for some kind of connection. I feel like Spottyling might also be positioning a little bit too much for a potential kind of KO threat. Could be a little bit further up to help with that pressure. Never mind, it's perfectly fine. KO found, barrier down. Second barrier almost falling here as the flip comes out. The banish will stop that almost immediately though. Spottyling trying to get the core on that barrier, but can't quite get it through. And again, they're finding those angles, they're finding those clears past the portal, which makes it so difficult to really react to, because Gobino is not the best in head-on defense due to that Amy pickup. So let's see how it's going to play out. I feel like as well it's going to depend on the awakenings further down the line, because this rune can snowball very heavily, and here with that banish into pillar, we'll find a goal to put us into a 0.5 situation, and on top of that, Not So Easy will have a flip available to his name.
Yeah, really nice banish and pillar. Don't know if it was intended to be that perfectly off, like basically off center, so nobody can get there. But no matter if it was intentional or not, a goal is a goal.
Goal is a goal, and that's all that matters. Is the course trying to be played out here, but Suplex finds a strike run against the Gobino, and Spottyling uses that Asher again, just to such efficiency with that primary. As Not So Easy tries to set up that pillar, but V just wins those strike wars. A portal saving Wee's life there, actually. Without it, likely would have been a KO, as they're back on the offense here, and they can't get the core out. An unfortunate glitch spot, but a pillar saves it, and we're still alive.
Insane gameplay. Insane defense right there. I thought it was in.
I think most people thought that was in. As a matter of fact, I think Gobino thought it was in. I don't think Amy moved.
I don't think anyone moved, honestly, after that.
Okay, course still... Yeah.
They all just, for a short time, went, oh, let's admire this.
let's accept...
And then went back to the game.
Let's process what happened here first. Good flip deny there on a really good pillar to keep it up front. The Juliet flips in front, has a punch and gets it through. Chocobo Yao not able to react in time to even it out in sets. And going into this next draft here, Gobino on that first pick, together with the extra special a Timeless Creator, could have a lot of value. But there's also some really good awakenings across the board here. Monumentalist could be a deal breaker though, if that's going to drop to now. And it's not. Gobino is aware.
Gobino aware, especially with the extra special and Deadeye. That might actually be some damage that goes down on the Amy turret. That's very important. Also, something to say that Rune got Siege Machine. So those pillars are going to stay a little while longer. And out of own experience, I can say, the first time you realize the longer duration, it's gonna mess you up.
Yeah, it's gonna mess up your timing. I do feel like the heavy impact for now still was a great pickup though, right? Those cooldowns are gonna continue to drop, but not having access to that Monumentalist could hurt you down the line, as the eject from Gobino was a little bit too far up, can't jump back, loses one barrier for it, but that's a tame loss considering the situation they were in, as Chocobo Yao is having some connectivity issues. Unfortunate to see at this point, but V finds the barrier. Amy turret comes out and will continue to shove the score up front. Oh, two open nets here as we're trying to set up Spottyling, and surely this is going to go in. Yes, the Juliet ultimate will secure. The dash punch would have followed suit, but again, Chocobo Yao not necessarily in position to respond to it properly.
I feel like right now, Skibidi Sigma has the perfect momentum on their side. It really looks like they have found themselves in defense and offense right now. Not So Easy really has the offense down, getting a lot of barriers with these pillars, and Julie stays a bit more defensive, which somewhat makes sense if you consider Julie can just try to dash punch.
That was a now primary on the portal. It's the strength of the now pick in this map, right? You're gonna suffer in a head-on defense, but you can hold portal priority so well, and if the enemy's not watching out for it, those cores can catch you off guard, right? They can't just come flying at you out of seemingly nowhere. So that is the strong side of the pick. The bad side is you are still a now in goalie when you are gonna be in close situations over and over again. So barrier's gonna be found. This not so easy doing such a good job on this rune, actually making use of these pillars and just being such a nuisance to defend against. But Suplex and V will have something to say about it. Both have flip soon. Surely this barrier is not gonna stay for much longer. Flip coming out, the first one, but defended greatly. Suplex still trying to farm the flip, but not so easy on the attack now. With this rune, finds the KO, finds a prizefighter stack with that, and finds Adrenaline Rush flip as well. Maybe not even wanting to use the flip here. Does get the barrier, doesn't have to use the flip for it. It's Chocobo Yao now needs to use the flip to hold on defensively. Goes through the portal, goes up to Suplex, uses the flip, tries to get the angle, but the Rune Pillar denies.
Rune Pillar, the best strat against flip. There's no way you can get it through a pillar.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything else quite as good. Maybe now primary.
Now primary, although that can be defended against by just standing on top of it. You have just an Asher being in front of you. It's pretty good as well. But yeah, the Rune Pillar, obviously, you're gonna have to start looking for a way around the Rune Pillar. You're never gonna get through it. And now Skibidi Sigmas with a point lead this set, as they do drop one barrier. It is evened out, but not so easy again on the offense. This Rune more so playing a brawler position here almost, if you look at that positioning. As now Flip coming out from Spotty Len gets a barrier. Again, the Pillar though, just being that solid backup, so difficult to defend against for the side of Chocobo Liao.
I mean, looking at Not So Ease, I wonder if Cookies is currently trying to coach someone.
I don't think so.
Looking at that, I know it's not happening, but it looks like it. You know.
Hey, Mac, we can barely get Cookies to play as Grim, bro.
I know.
Oh, huge Pillar though. Not so easy. He's completely in the head of Chocobo Yao there. The Rune pick really coming to fruition here, and giving a first pick to the Julie here. Not necessarily who you would want the first pick to have, but if you can get some solid awakenings with it, definitely not a bad pickup either. Julie not really having any sparks or anything of that sort right now. Curious to see what the pickup's going to be. Just size. Gonna help with the attack. Gonna help with those dash punches. Stacks and stacks going on top of Kai. That's a Timeless Creator finds its way to Amy, and now that strength of that extra special Timeless Creator, Amy's going to come through. And keep in mind, that's also Monumentalist and Deadeye. That turret's going to stay for a long time, and it's going to hurt. As the Stagger Swagger finds its way onto Not So Easy. Will keep him alive a little bit longer, and the last pickup being that Spark of Strength for Suplex. Just a little bit of a nice touch-up, giving that Spark potential further down the line, and just that immediate damage as we're going into this next point. And the first barrier dropped already.
I do think Amy Turret has now the potential of one-shotting someone.
I think so as well, but they would have to tank the entire turrets, which I would hope they would like at least evade at one point. Oh! Huge play. Good, really good teleport up, uses that banish to take out the goalie and gets the core in time. Well timed. You need to be able to pull that off as well. So not so easy, having a really good game so far, but it's not over yet, because the team comp on the side of the Veagles still is incredibly strong, and the Sky is going to be incredibly speedy as well. They just need to get themselves into a position where they can take advantage of that stuff more consistently. And with stuff, I don't mean stuff like things, but stuff like stuff that the character have, like stuffing the core through the defense stuff, not... Yeah.
Stuff. Stuff, not stuff. But maybe a bit of stuff. You know?
Ooh,
oh.
They did find that strike through in the end. Suplex close to flip as well. Bodyline and Gobino have theirs available already, so even though we are even in points this set, energy-wise, there's a slight advantage towards the side of the Skibidi Sigmas here, as they're holding on defense. Both flips used, though, is not what you like to see. That's going to put you down on the energy economy now. And the KO being found there for Suplex as well, giving that prize fighter stack, making that Asher deal so much more damage now as well. Second barrier being found. Open goal now. Can they get the score in? They can. Suplex calmly puts it into the corner. 2-1 lead for them now. They're 1 away from putting us into a set 5 position for this qualification spot.
Prize fighter, adrenaline rush. What do you want more on after a KO? There's nothing more you can gain, I feel like. Oh, not so easy, but also gets KO'd from the dash punch into Amy turret. We talked about it. That Amy turret hurts a lot. Yeah,
if it can get those hits off, it'll hurt a lot, and that's going to put away one of that prize fighter stack that was immediately brought up. And you can kind of see it, though. The approach from the side of the Veagles is a bit stronger. They're setting themselves up a bit more nicely on the attack and defense, which helps them defend against all of these attacks coming through so much more. A really good defense before on the Skibidi Sigmas will actually hold on to the second barrier, but there's less silly barrier losses on the side of the Veagles here, and you can tell, and I'm continuing to jinx it. That one's so silly, though. Again, not so easy, just making use of that rune to an excellent degree.
Oh, nice flip going into match point here. Gobino having that flip as well. Very important if you want to get the 2-2 in your favor. No flips on any other character at all. Not so easy, can evade, but even that's the closest to a flip that we have except for Gobino.
Yeah, the entirety of the side of Eagles just don't really have a lot of energy to work with. But again, that doesn't mean they can't get a barrier, right? If they can get the core up front and they can set up an Asher, well, kind of in a situation like this where it's just going to force it in, you're going to get value. And you did find one of the barriers there, but again, a great pillar from Not So Easy will deny the clear to top, will move down to cover it. As Gobino cannot hold on to the second barrier, open goal on both sides now. We are in two worlds. Either we're going to finish the game here and the Skibidi Sigmas are going to find their victory here and put themselves into the final selection, or the Veagles are going to try to force us into a set 5, but it gets defended, almost goes in, as the attack still is alive. But yes, the Veagles will find the portal play, will find the attack, and we're going to a set 5 for this qualification for the final selection.
It was such a good defense by Gobino, getting the core forward. Sadly now just could barely reach the core, and after that Suplex just has basically an open goal, gets the score. Really nice there. Now we're going into the last set. I don't think anyone is really sparking it up that much. Asher has 2 sparks now. With the spark of agility, it's going to be a lot more annoying on the offense now.
Yeah, gonna be a lot more speed. More size for Julie is gonna do a good job as well. Twin Drive's gonna help with that pressure, but I feel like overall the primetime pickup for Kai is gonna do a lot on that front. And the Among Titans pickup for Not So Easy. Easy can be very hit or miss, right? It can be very good if you need that mobility, but if you're starting to lose Strike Wars for it, it can go south so fast as well. So we'll see how it's gonna pan out. Both barriers down on the side of Skibidi Sigma here as they're trying to get the core out, but V just being oppressive enough on this Kai pick. They do get it out eventually now, get an attack going, but no barrier dropping yet. So it goes back through the portal, but again, Kai just carrying up the score with these enhanced primaries. That primetime's going to do a lot for the midfield control as they take the point lead in this last set.
Rapid fire on now, primetime on Kai, double spark, especially spark of strength and agility on the Asher. That's basically like 3 awakenings you never want to see in one rotation picked up by these characters.
Yeah, but they do get the attack still. They need to use the flip here defensively, but the dash punch from Spotty Lang will actually confirm it. Gives the flip to Spotty Lang as well to maybe use it in a future point. And we're down to a best of 3 in terms of goals.
Yeah, really close as well. Suplex could have died there, losing Prize Fighter stack. Luckily, the core went in before Spotty could hit there in the end. So getting lucky at being scored on, kind of.
Second barrier drops. It's huge as well because both of the barriers are still up on the side
Oh,
of
really
Skibidi
nice
Sigma,
kill.
and an even better KO here. Maybe Spotty Len can use the flip here and gets it through. The elusive had to come out from Chocobo Yao to evade the Rune ultimate. And the core goes in now. Skibidi Sigma, 1 goal away from qualifying for the final selection.
Match point 2.0. We went there before. Will it go different this time? We shall see.
Ooh, the Rune and the Amy turret doing the best on the defensive end, but again, the force in the end was enough. If you are in those positions, it is just so good. Suplex here trying to greed to not use the flip, wants to try and hold it for that final point, but gets punished for it as they do not find the goal yet. Uses the flip here, though, to secure it, and we are in a set 5.5. Winner of this next point will find themselves in the final selection. And overall, a lot of energy on the side of Skibidi Sigma if they can find these flips. They are looking pretty, really good here.
Yeah, I think it's important to see that's a kill on the Asher, which is really important. Price Fighter has gone down. First barrier taken, second barrier taken. We do have flip on Gobino as well.
Uses it immediately, almost gets it through, but no, Suplex is there. Not so easy back on the attack. Again, Gobino holding on, but now the attack's coming. V and Suplex close in front of the net, and the barrage will be enough. V will get it through, and the Veagles will take this game 3-2 and secure themselves a spot in the final selection. Congratulations, really well played from the side of Skibidi Sigmas, but in the end, you had one shot there to get the core in, and you didn't find it. Kai and Asher put themselves up in such a way where they can get the force through, and they do find the victory in this close game.
So close and yet so far. I've been there. I've been there in USL qualification today. Not today. This
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, yeah. But yeah, I think great play from both sides, right? If you're looking at the side of Skibidi Sigma, unfortunately, it wasn't enough this time around. But they got into bracket stage, and once a Clarion Corp Trial Season 2 is going to come around, if they do continue to play, there are going to be threats there as well. Or who knows, maybe they're going to be Challenger by then and not going to be able to play. But for today, it's going to be the Veagles that go through. On the other side, you had 2 Shrimple against General Dumbra's squad, and General Dumbra's squad was the victor in that match. So we will have our final 4 for the final selection, consisting of the Baguette Boys, consisting of Amigos, the Veagles, and General Dumbra's squad. So that will be that final selection. Those will be the 4 teams that are going to be competing for that very first season Clarion Corp Trials win, and the first team to graduate, move on from the Clarion Corp Trials. So exciting to see there. Any favorites from your end right now, Mac?
I am a caster. I am unbiased.
I mean,
I have no favorites.
Okay.
Also, I don't know the players on like 3 teams of those, so I don't really have an opinion.
You know what? That is fair enough. But yeah, that would be it for today for the Clarion Corp Trials. We have our 4 teams now. The final selection will happen next Sunday, not this weekend. The 18th of May will be the place to be watching that. We will also be streaming that again on ETOS. Other than that, we have some other fun events. Bulk Up Battlegrounds this Sunday, actually, will be taking place with a new little format. For anyone that has played the Clarion Corp Trials today that usually wouldn't sign up for a BUB, there are now 2 separate divisions. The top division is going to be Pro League players and anything like that. So if so far you didn't end up signing up for Bulk Up Battlegrounds with the basis of not wanting to go up against all of these top players consistently all the time, you now will have your own lower division where anyone of Pro League rank is going to be prohibited from participating. So if you do want to be playing that, go sign up for it. Links will be in ETOS. Matter of fact, I'll go grab it really quick and just put it in chat. So do sign up for BUB happening this Sunday. Other than that, obviously EUSL will be taking as well. It will be taking place as well next Saturday, tomorrow in a week. So do be excited for that as more information will drop. But Abercrombie, that's going to be something we're testing now. If it's successful and people like it, we're going to keep it. If the feedback is this is kind of then we're going to revert it. So if you want it to stay that way, that lower division and upper division are going to be divided, sign up for BUP and show us your interest. And if you can't play it, then just send us a DM and let us know, hey, I can't play on this Sunday, but I really like the idea. Either way, though, that is going to be it for today. Again, BUP this Sunday, USL next Saturday, and the final selection next Sunday. So stay around, stay tuned. And yeah, Imak, any final words before we sign off today?
I liked the games today. They were fun.
And I can agree. And with that, we're going to go offline for today. I hope all of you have a lovely start to your weekend. Go sign up for Bulk Up Battleground if you do want to play in it. And we'll see you guys around next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.